Hi, Taylor T. Carlson, and I'm back again, but this time it's not going to be a haul of my vinyl records. Rather, this time around it's going to be a look at two different storage cases sold by two companies which you can use to store your vinyl records. When you have a collection that's growing quickly like mine, you don't just want to have these things like laying around on the floor or on an old shelf, so two of the companies that make a lot of the turntables and record players that are on the market today are Crosley and Victrola, and both of those companies have actually produced their own crates that you can store records in. I've gotten a few of the Crosley crates because I bought those when I was starting out, and then Victrola actually had a promo going on where if you spend so much on their website, you could enter a promo code and get a free crate. I'm going to show off both of these. I'm going to share what I like and what I don't like, and I'll give my opinion as to what I believe is the better overall option. So, since the Victrola crate is closest to me, I'll go ahead and start with this. This is the Victrola record storage case, and this is 5 pieces, and minimal assembly is required. You don't have to have any tools for this because everything just slides into place. You can see the Victrola logo on the top there. That's actually like engraved in there. You can really feel that there. It's actually very nice, very pretty. I don't think a YouTube video really does that justice. And then here's a look at the right side of the cabinet. Here's a look at the left side. Here's the back. As I'm sure you've noticed, there's actually handles on here, which are kind of nice to have. And then there's the bottom. So it's a pretty nice, like lightly varnished looking wood cabinet. And one issue that I did have with this, however, is even though it's kind of nice to actually have something where you don't need any tools, the problem is the construction is not as sturdy as something that you would, hammer or screw together. So like, if you look here, like, see like right here, this piece actually, if I pull up on this, this wants to come loose, and the construction generally tends to be, it's sturdy for the most part, but if you lift this the wrong way, you don't lift it by the handles, you lift it by these sides that you have to slide in. It's like, this thing probably could get broken or come apart. It's not a bad storage solution, and the fact that Victrola is actually offering that promo on these, I don't know how long that's going to last, where if you spend so much on their website, like $75 I think, you can enter that code and get a free crate. That's certainly worth doing, but might not necessarily be the best solution overall. Also, the part here that actually touches the ground, my Crosley case, what I did was I put some of those little moving discs on the bottom because I have a tile floor, so I could easily push them around that way and scoot them in, pull them out, do what was necessary, and just not really a practical way to do this because the foot part here that touches the ground is so small. So overall, I think this Victrola storage case is actually a pretty decent option, but not necessarily the best overall option. It also only comes in this one color as far as I know. Anyway, now we will take a look at the Crosley crates. These actually come in multiple colors. I just got the natural wood color here one because that's what was cheapest at the time, and it's probably the one that, in terms of like the overall finish and construction, is probably most comparable to the Victrola. On the front there, you've got the Crosley logo. I don't know if this is like painted or airbrushed on here. It does feel a little bit different there, but it's nice. It doesn't look as nice as Victrola's logo does on their particular crate, but you get the idea. Here's the side. This is just like, multiple rigid panels. Kind of the same thing on both sides. The back is identical to the front. It just doesn't have the Crosley logo on there. And there's the bottom. I actually put these little moving discs on because, like I said, I have a tile floor downstairs, and with these there, it's a lot easier to move it around along on my tile floor. This does require some light tools. You need, at the very least, a Phillips head screwdriver so that you can screw the nails in. And it is kind of a pain holding these things steady, and then the holes that are like pre-drilled in there sometimes aren't quite in the right place, and they don't quite fit the way they should. I had one screw that just didn't want to go in, so I finally had to take a nail and just hammer that in there instead of the screw. Where was that? I think it might have been on this side. But yeah, right there you can actually see I actually hammered a nail in there instead of using the screw because it just would not go into that hole for whatever reason. Although I put the nail in, I don't see the nail sticking out anywhere, and it's held together pretty well, so overall I would say this worked out pretty solidly in the long run. I have packed this one up with records and tried moving it around even when it's mostly full, and with those moving discs I added to the bottom, it actually works pretty well. So, if you have a lot of records and you're looking for storage solutions, which one of these do I recommend? The Victrola, on one hand, they do have that promo going on their website where you can get one for free with a purchase. So if you're planning on buying a record player off their website, that's a great deal. But the fact of the matter is, there's just a few parts on here that don't really fit in very good because of the no tool required construction. I like the simplistic assembly and the fact that you don't need tools, but at the same time, you sort of get what comes along with that, and it is, you know, slightly shoddier construction and maybe not the most durable solution in the long run. The Crosley crate, I have issues with this. I like how the Victrola there's like one solid floor on the bottom that your records will be resting in. This just has the wooden ridges, and it's kind of a pain to get these nails in here and hold these things straight and get everything lined up. You don't really have to worry about that with the Victrola, and then screwing in the nails, it's a pain. But once you get it assembled, if you can get it assembled, like I said, I did have to use a hammer and a nail on one instead of the screw. But once you get it in, you know, it looks pretty solid, pretty sturdy, pretty well put together. I also want to add that the Victrola crate is taller, so it's probably about closer to the height of your records, but the Crosley crate is longer, so you could probably fit more records in that one. So if you have a bigger collection, you might want to invest in that or more than one of those instead. And between the two, I am going to have to give the benefit of the doubt to the Crosley case on this one. It also comes in multiple colors. Again, I just have the natural wood-colored one here, but again, these are far from the only solutions on the market for storing your records. I just thought I'd show these off on account of they are probably the two biggest, most popular mainstream turntable and record players manufacturers these days. There are certainly some higher end ones out there, but a lot of what I do is based on being on a budget. And anyway, have you had a chance to pick up either of these storage crates yet? How do you store your vinyl records? Comment down below and let me know what you think or have to say. Also remember to subscribe to my channel for more content and give this video a like if you found it helpful or interesting. I'm Taylor T. Carlson, and I will see you in my next video.